from the deep, dark hollows of southeastern Kentucky, where the moonshine is strong, the stories are strange, and your neighbor is probably your cousin. This is Appalachia, not so quiet. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Appalachia, Not So Quiet. I am your host, Hillbilly Phantom. As always, I am joined by my lovely wife,
Appalachian Shade.
How you doing today, sweetheart?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
You got us some nice, fancy new
T-shirts.
here. We're not doing videos. People can't see them, but basically it's just our logo on the front.
I'm going to post them on TikTok later.
Yeah, we might try to sell these.
Maybe.
Yeah, we could make some money.
Yeah. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're cool. They're like I said, it's just basically got the logo on the front, and then on the back it's got the QR code.
Well, what sells it for me is it's a soft, buttery, soft black tee.
Yeah, they are extremely comfortable.
Yeah, that's
very, very comfortable.
That's the most important part. It's comfortable.
So we are having a very special episode.
Celebration.
Yeah, celebration. Kind of a look back
over the month. It's been a month.
Yeah, a little over a month. Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long. It seems like we just started yesterday. So what are we celebrating? Not just a month.
500 streams and downloads.
500. We have reached 500 listens in just a month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
15 episodes.
I don't know anything about this podcast thing, but that sounds impressive to me.
Like I said, they say a lot of people don't even get 100 streams their first month.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I guess so. I mean, I didn't think that, we could make that big of a impact.
And it's like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we have listeners. Amazon, we have listeners. iHeartRadio.
Yeah, and they're not just from the United States either.
Even our TikTok is getting noticed.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the analytics for our podcast.
Yeah, there's Russia, Canada,
Scotland. I was like, wow.
Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
We've got 15 listeners or something.
In other countries.
Yeah, in Canada and stuff. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's right, folks. We have officially hit 500 listens, and it's actually still climbing. Right before we got on the air, I looked at it and it was 530. That's just awesome. Yeah, that's right. 500.
He's been dying to use that button.
I have.
So lame.
We've got other cool buttons on here. I'm just trying to find excuses to use them. You just call me lame.
Yeah.
Come on. You married me.
And you wanted to marry me.
So like I said, we're going to kind of take a look back at our previous episodes. We're going to talk about our most popular episode. I think it's around 63 listens.
Yep, 63 listens.
That was way back at episode 5.
Yeah.
Kelly Holland Jr., missing child.
That's a very interesting story.
It is. I'm really glad we did a podcast on that and looked at some of that information. I never even knew about Kelly Holland Jr. Until we started looking into it. But yeah, I remember you said on the episode though that you had heard about it before, and I don't recall ever hearing about that missing boy until we started looking for a missing person to do a podcast about. That's the way a lot of these happen, is after so many years pass,
people forget about it.
People start forgetting about it. Like I said, a lot of people may have never even heard about it because I hadn't. I had no idea that there was this missing boy from Knott County, disappeared from over on Pine Tree Holler. And then I think our second most listened to episode was our pilot episode, our very first one, when we were just trying to get this figured out. I think people were just...
and it was all over the place.
Yeah.
It was a hot mess.
Yeah. ADHD. We got a little bit of ADHD sometimes when we're doing these. But I think people may have been just taking pity on us.
We feel sorry for these people.
Yeah. Sorry, people trying to get a podcast started. We'll listen to them. So it racked up 47 or something like that. And then all the way down to our most recent episode, of course, has the fewest listens, but it just came out. Yeah, it's still racking up. Yeah. Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday's episode about the first choir of angels.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that yet, definitely listen to that one. It's very interesting.
Yeah, angels are extremely interesting. Like stories about guardian angels, people that shouldn't have survived, but somehow did.
Yeah.
There had to be something watching out for them. Call it God, call it a guardian angel, but something was definitely there with them. So we've had a lot of different interesting episodes. That's the reason we started doing this is we have some pretty interesting conversations sitting on our couch.
And this ain't even half of what we talk about.
Yeah, that's why we're like,
Some of it
man,
you
we've
won't let
got
me
enough
talk
for
about.
we've got enough for a podcast because we talk about everything. And we do a lot of research and try to find answers to questions that have never been answered.
Because we're nerds.
Yeah, we're a little nerdy like that. But I think among all the things we've talked about, it's usually the more strange, supernatural type of thing.
Yeah. Saints and boogers and ghost stories.
Yeah, I think that episode
4.
4, Haints and Boogers. I think that a lot of people really enjoyed that one. I know I got a lot of comments from my brother on that one, and he even commented on the episode and said, more Haints and Boogers. But yeah, a lot of people seem to like that one. It's pretty high up there in the listens. And I think that the Cryptids episode,
that was a good one.
Yeah,
too.
it was like, it's number 3 on the listens, I think.
And we didn't even touch all the cryptids that there is.
Yeah, we didn't touch half of them. Yeah. And there's a lot of strange, weird things walking around in Appalachia. I have noticed a steady increase of more Appalachia related things, though, especially since we started doing this podcast. It's like, I guess it's the whole algorithm.
Yeah, coming through on our TikTok.
Picking up on, everything we're talking about.
Appalachia.
Yeah. But I've been seeing a lot more Appalachia TikTokers giving tips and tricks on how to survive in Appalachia.
Well, the people of this area really don't have a voice. We can't ever get our stories out there. It seems like there's always something in other states that is
kind of overshadows us.
And we get looked down upon a lot because everybody thinks that we're just ignorant hillbillies, uneducated. I
pretty much lived with that stereotype my whole life. I always saw it in movies and TV. Even news programs that were supposed to be, unbiased or whatever, they were always pretty biased.
I've noticed a lot of people in the Appalachian areas taking advantage of TikTok to get their voices out there. And it's great.
Yeah, that's why things like this are really awesome. The fact that, a couple of hillbillies can buy a little setup and start a podcast.
After we've been silenced for so long.
Yeah, after, all these years of people saying, don't pay attention to those ignorant hillbillies down there. Yeah. And as we have said in all of the ghost episodes, the Haints and Boogers, that a lot of the stories that we're relaying, they come from personal experiences or they come from family members.
Or friends.
But we've grew up, hearing all these stories. And like you said, we don't really have much of a voice. And if you remember on that very first Haints and Boogers episode, we talked about a very famous Knott County haunting. Certain person by the name of Johnny Booger, kind of a famous
lore.
Yeah. It's a very famous story from our county. Like we said in that episode, I think that most people around Knott County have heard of Johnny Booger. And we told the story of a young woman that went up there that she had tapped out on in like a social media post. But we finally figured out how to bring people onto our podcast. So we have brought Maddie, our niece, who has a Johnny Booger story, believe it or not.
Yes, has an experience.
Hello, Maddie. Welcome to Appalachia Not So Quiet. We are thrilled to have you on with us because it means that we're not dumb and we figured out how to bring people onto our podcast. So, Maddie, I hear that you have a story about Johnny Booger's grave.
Okay, so my friends and I had went up to Johnny Booger's grave. And it's when I first moved to Cordia School. So, of course, I was hearing all the stories, and it was just right up the road. So we go up there, and we were going to see if we could capture some things of, like, what they had said and all that. Well, we get up there, and all of our phones die, and they're, like, freezing cold. Like, our phones are cold. And the pole light that's up there goes completely out. Well, after that, I'm leaving. I'm out of there. I'm gone. So I take off running to the bottom of the hill there because he's buried like at the main top. And you could like every time I would take off running, like the leaves would start rustling behind me, and I would freak out. And I'd stop, and then it would stop. And I was like, okay. So then I get to the bottom of the hill. All of our vehicles will not start. Our phones are dead. It's pitch black dark. Scared to death. After about 10 minutes of us like fighting to get the vehicle started, it finally starts and we just tear out of there, like wide open. Well, he's buried just above the pay lake there. We get to the pay lake, our phones come on. It's like everything, like nothing even happened.
Wow.
Wow.
And it was just cold up there. It was the middle of summer. And it was cold. Like once you like got out of the vehicle and started walking up through there, it just got colder as you got closer. It was really scary.
There shouldn't have been that much of a temperature difference.
No. Yeah.
You know, from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill.
Yeah, it was like frigid.
That's cool. That's a really great story. That's got all the classic things from the Johnny Booger grave stories, just like the story we read. The only thing you didn't see was the glowing gravestone like that other woman did.
Yeah. I mean, it could have happened. She's probably already gone. She didn't give a time.
Yeah, she got out of there faster than that other woman did. Yeah, that's a great story. And Maddie's husband, Dylan, also has a Johnny Booger story he'd like to share. Is a story that was relayed to him from his father many years ago. Go ahead, Dylan.
So my dad and my uncle was night watching up there, and that's before the church got condemned and burnt down and all that stuff.
Oh, wait. So hang on. There was a church?
Yeah.
Yes, there was a church right beside the cemetery.
There's still steps there when you go up there.
The concrete steps are still there, but the church is no more.
It burnt down.
I can't remember if it burnt down or if they tore it down, but the only thing left of the church is just the steps.
Just the steps. Okay. All right.
And they was up there night watching when the church was still there. And they kept seeing this light in the church. So eventually they went over there to check it out. As they got closer, the light got dimmer. They went in and checked everything out. There wasn't nothing there. Well, as soon as they started walking away and looked back, they seen the light jump to the next window. And it just kept doing that. And they checked it out 2 or 3 times that night. And finally, Dad stayed to check it out, and my uncle walked back and he was screaming. He's like, the light right beside of you, and turned around and it wasn't there. Dad couldn't see it, but my uncle could.
Whoa.
So needless to say, neither one of them slept that night on the night watch. They was up all night, couldn't figure out what
they go home to change clothes.
Yeah.
And the windows and stuff was already busted out at that time, so it wasn't like a reflection or anything like that. It was just like a dim light bouncing from window to window.
Like a candlelight or something.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Wow. That's an awesome story, too.
Yeah.
My dad told me that as a kid, and it scared me to
death. And you went anyway.
Yeah, we went up there anyways.
But the time I went, the church was already gone. It was just the steps.
Wow. And that'd be awesome to go up there. I kind of want to go now. That sounds awesome.
Okay. Well, I'll be waiting on you down at the Pay Lake in case I need to call 911 or something, you know. My phone will work.
Now, you've always said that you wanted to go on a ghost investigation with me.
I do, but that's something running after you. I don't think I want to do that. I can only run so fast. I got little legs.
Oh, man. Maddie and Dylan.
They seem pretty serious when they tell you the story in person.
Yeah, when they're talking about Johnny Booger, I mean, you can tell that that happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't just their older siblings screwing around or, older kids from the school screwing around. There you go. You got some more firsthand accounts for Johnny Booger, lending more credence to the fact that maybe Johnny Booger is still roaming around up there near his grave.
Could be.
And I found the fact that there was a church there and it burnt down or was tore down.
I wonder if they tore it down when they put the Pay Lake in there.
Maybe. But I mean, it should be up above the Pay Lake. So I don't know why they would have had to tear it down. That's just cool. I really like those stories. So thank you, Maddie and Dylan. It was fantastic. But yeah, we might have to try to arrange a time that we can go investigate up there because I found that very fascinating. So yeah, thank you, Maddie and Dylan. Appreciate your story. And I think we might have more stories from Maddie and Dylan. Another popular episode that we had
was the flood.
The flood.
The flood of 2022.
The flood of 2022.
It affected everyone in Knott County. So
yeah, Knott County was forever changed by that flood. Now, you'll hardly ever hear me recommend anything by NBC, but we watched the Dateline special Survival Mode, and I think it's episode 7. They talk about the flood.
Yeah, they have some of the families that had been affected by the flood, that the waters had carried them away or had been up inside their home, and they had to swim in the waters and stuff to get to safety. It's a really good story.
Yeah,
they done us right in Appalachia.
Yeah, it's one of the few times, because like I said, usually on TV and movies we're kind of portrayed as ignorant and dumb.
Well, it seems like when the media comes to our area, like they find the people with the strongest accent that are poverty stricken. And I'm not saying that those people shouldn't be interviewed, but their questions set them up for failure that they ask these people.
Right.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a manipulation. Like I said, the media is supposed to be unbiased, but when it comes to Appalachia, it seems like they're always biased.
Yeah. They're looking to get a good soundbite of something that can be made fun of later.
Right.
That's what they're looking for. Yeah. But that gets their news station news ratings up, their news station recognized. So it ticks me off.
Yeah, that's why they do anything outrageous that they possibly can whenever there's some kind of disaster, because we can get ratings off of this. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that they actually care.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see NBC Dateline do a story, and they were pretty respectful about all of it. One of the parts that really got me was the family that, their house floated away and it hit a bridge, and they ended up scattered like way down the creek. It was incredible. Like one of them was actually there at the bridge. Another one had washed past the bridge and was stuck on a tree, on the other side. And then another one was on down the creek.
Yeah, about a quarter of a mile.
Holding on to a power pole.
And then the husband was like a mile.
Yeah, it was like another mile down the river or down the creek. And, he had got stuck on a tree, and the National Guard had to rescue all of them.
Yeah.
Except for that one boy that was stuck on the bridge, because he was able to get out on his own. And that's kind of like what I was talking about with guardian angels. I mean, these people were completely underwater. Their house lifted up off its foundation, split in half, and crashed into a bridge, and all of them survived.
One lady said she didn't even know how to swim.
Yeah, she said she was terrified. She just knew she gave up. She knew she was going to die because she could not swim.
And then she ends up in a tree. And she was like, I don't know how I got there, but I was holding on.
No idea how she got there, but she was about 5 or 6 foot above the water on a tree limb, hanging, just gripping it for dear life. How in the world did she get up there? Angels, maybe. We did lose a lot during that flood, but obviously there were angels out and about looking out for people, not just the supernatural kind of angels either. We had angels right here on Earth, those National Guard rescuing people from helicopters.
First responders.
All the first responders.
Even our neighbors.
In fact, that guy that was stuck in the tree, a first responder, was the first person that got there. It was a firefighter, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets there first.
From Jake's Prince.
He had no way to get to the guy. Yeah, the water was just raging, and he's all the way on the other side, stuck, like pinned between 2 trees. And all he could do was just, this firefighter, he said all I could do was pray for him. So he just fell to his knees and started praying. And not long after that, National Guard showed up.
Yeah.
And rescued that guy. That was an incredible story. We definitely need to have more incredible stories like that. A lot of them aren't heard because Dateline didn't get to talk to everybody.
No, it was only like 3 families.
Yeah, 3 or 4 families. Yeah. And then we've got a book with all kinds of stories from flood, traumatizing and also heroic stories.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of people's life put in danger. And then there was a lot of rescuers and, like I said, first responders that put their life in danger.
Yeah, they had to put their life in danger in order to save these people. Yeah. It was an incredible time. It's something that we're never going to forget. Adding to these stories that people may never hear again, except right here on Appalachia Not So Quiet, we also have Abby, who is our soon-to-be daughter-in-law.
She might as well be our daughter-in-law.
Might as well be. But she had a very terrifying and harrowing experience during the flood. of 2022. Hey, Abby, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. How are you doing today, Abby?
Good, how are you guys?
We're good.
I appreciate y'all inviting me on and letting me talk about my experiences.
Absolutely. Like I said, there's all kinds of stories that haven't been heard because, not everybody talked to the people in the news and things of that nature.
And you and your family had a really close call.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
guys had a very close call. So why don't you take us through that night, Abby? I know it's emotional and it brings back rough memories, but
it's good to talk about it.
Yeah.
I sure hope so. Here we go. So I remember that night. It was awful. The 27th, that Wednesday, we celebrated my sister's birthday and we had a few friends over. And the only reason I remember that is because my mom told them they had to leave before the rain hit. And they left. And then that night, it started raining here around 8:30. It started raining pretty hard. And I remember I couldn't go to sleep that night because I knew deep down in my gut I knew something was going to happen if I fell asleep. So Mom and them came and got me around 1, 2 o'clock. And they're like, hey, you got to come look at this. Well, I went outside, and the way that my road is set up, it's a big giant culvert once you get to the end of it. And it's got a creek running along it. Well, the water was all the way up to the road, and it was coming over.
So your driveway is it's like a big berm, and then the culvert runs under it, and the creek runs through the culvert. And your house is on the lower end of this berm, right?
Yes. The entire driveway was blacktopped. My neighbors have a bottom right below their house because their house is up on a hill, and then we live on the other side of the bottom. We have a little plot of land, and then they have a bottom. The water was coming up over the road, and me and Mom was standing at the door, and Dad went and got my brother up to make sure he was awake in case anything was to happen. And they had actually went through the house to get flashlights because we were losing power.
Yeah.
And Mom hollered at Dad, and I had my sister at this point, and we had our shoes on, and she's like, we gotta go. Our road had broke, and it had got up to our porch, and Mom closed the door really quickly, and if she wouldn't have closed the door, it would have come in the house.
Yeah.
We ended up going out the back door and hitting the hill and going up to our neighbor's house and sitting. And at this point, Mom had contacted my sister. I was on the phone with you guys.
Yeah, you all had let me know that you had gone to the neighbors.
Yeah,
just before we lost power.
And then all of a sudden, the telephone powers went out. All of them. Nobody had service at all. Once we got up to the neighbors, Mom and them has suggested that us kids get sleep. I didn't go to bed till probably about 8 o'clock that next morning.
Yeah.
We couldn't get a hold of nobody. When I got up the next day, there was cars driving the road, seeing the damages. We came back down to the house to see if anything was destroyed, and we had no water. We had no power. We'd had nothing.
Yeah, it flooded your all's basement, didn't it?
Yeah, it flooded our basement really good. Yeah. And our porch is damaged from it, and we've still got that damage that we have to fix. But after the flood,
FEMA really didn't help anybody, did it?
Not really.
Yeah.
We watched a whole big giant propane tank float down the thing, and even the next day the water was still up to our knees in our neighbor's bottom.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Do you remember how many days it was before someone stopped and asked you if you needed help?
So my sister,
you had no access to the highway at all.
No, we had no access to it at all. And I know we were stranded for 14 days, but I know there was a cop that came around day 4 or 5. My sister, after she lost contact with us and she couldn't get a hold of us, she actually reported us as missing.
Yeah.
And we had already got back in contact with her before the cops had arrived to see if we were okay.
I think it took them several days to even get things cleared up on the main highway to get to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys were able to get out, and once we actually had phone service, I remember you calling me and asking me if we were okay. My sister about got flooded too.
Yeah. I remember talking to her that next morning. She was the first person I got contact with. She's like, "Have you spoke to my mom?" And I told her, I said, the last time I spoke, they were going to the neighbors. I was like, I don't know if they made it. I just know that that's where they were going.
Yeah, they ended up they had to bring us a generator or else we was going to lose all our food and stuff we had.
Yeah.
I remember a few days after that you had come and got me so I could actually go help other people get supplies that they needed.
You were one of the volunteers that came over and helped us out over at Cordia, receiving and delivering.
Yeah, you wasn't about to let it hold you down.
No,
you wanted to get out and help too.
Yeah, ready to get out there and help.
I knew there was people that was way worse than I was.
Yeah.
Thankfully, your home survived.
Yeah.
And
then
you
this
were
next
able
flood
to.
that came through.
It
You
almost
guys
happened
remember that
again
little
this
flood? It almost took our road out again.
Yeah.
It was coming up over it.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of a bad setup there at your house because it just kind of forms a lake
on the other side.
On the side of your driveway.
Yeah, it's like higher up on one side of the driveway than the other.
Yeah.
Where the house is kind of.
And that culvert backs up and it just forms a big lake and basically your driveway is a dam holding it back. I'm surprised more people down below your house weren't completely washed away.
Oh, I say, because if you go on down the road, there's 2 double wides that sit down at the bottom. I say they were flooded pretty bad.
Yeah. But I mean, all that water coming out all at once when your driveway gave, I imagine that it probably would have, wiped out everybody below you, but thankfully it didn't.
Yeah, I know that their picture of their driveway made a lot of news headlines and things like that because it was just such a massive hole that it created.
Yeah, it looked like a crater.
Was. Yeah, that's what we called it, the big giant crater of Pine Top.
Crater of Pine Top. Have to get a marker for that.
You could see once it actually washed away and the water was gone, you could see the water pipes. And even our pole light, it was hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
it done massive damage to the infrastructure.
You could see all the water lines and stuff like that ran underneath the driveway.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I remember getting down in the water to see if maybe we could get it out of the neighbor's bottoms in case it rained again.
Yeah.
Because that was...
Didn't want to stay a second night with that, did you?
No. No, not at all. I remember Mom and them putting up posts asking people if they had any extra field dirt or anything like that to drop it off at the house because we really needed it.
You were like almost a month before they even fixed your driveway.
Yeah.
And it still
that
took
was
a long
one way
time
to start off senior year.
Yeah.
That, Abby, that was a fantastic story. Very terrifying. We have Maddie and Dylan back now, and they have their own harrowing story of the flood.
Dylan.
Anytime you're ready.
So that night, we was laying in bed, and my dad came in there and woke me up and was saying...
He was quite frantic about it, too. He was...
Yeah. But he was like, do you care to run up? It's about 1.5 miles from the house. Our neighbor, she takes in a bunch of dogs and stuff, and she has like 40 kennels.
She's a rescuer.
And she's like, they need help. The water's getting high up there. So we went up there, and there was a tree blocking our driveway. So we had to walk down there. And by the time we got there, it was already about knee high, the water was. And we was running around just flipping the latches and just letting the dogs have a chance of getting out. Yeah. And by the time we got done, it was about waist high. And no sooner as we got all the dogs out, a gust of water comes down and takes out every kennel and doghouse she has. Wow. And the dogs are running, so we're trying to get them all up towards the house where it's dry. We get all the dogs, and we was gone about 20-25 minutes. By the time we get back to the house, we have to park 3 houses up because the water's already gushing across the road.
Wow.
And it got up to the bottom step
of our trampoline.
Of the trampoline, and then it started receding. So we didn't really get flooded at our house.
Yeah.
But that's about how that night went.
You.
Yeah, people lower line down below you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
they got it pretty rough, yeah.
So but you got those dogs just in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally as soon as we got the last dogs out and they was swimming out of the water up to land, the water come down and we seen all the kennels go and the dog houses, but we got I think we got all of them out that night.
That's incredible.
But y'all done an episode on guardian angels. I'm pretty sure we had one that night because all around us was just, no power, no internet, no water.
Couldn't see the water coming.
We kept power, we kept internet, and we kept water the whole time. And my mother-in-law that unfortunately passed away October of last year, it's coming up on a year, she let everybody come in and shower. She would clean the shower. She would cook for everybody. She would come tell everybody to use the phone down there if they needed to. So I just think that God let us keep what we had because He knew that my sweet mother-in-law Joanne would use it.
Yeah, she was a
to
big
help
help.
people.
She was a big help to the Lots Creek community for sure before we could get everything set up at Cordia.
Yeah. And
I remember referring a lot of people to her, and she's like, just send them on.
Yeah, she was doing people's laundry and everything, right?
Yeah. She'd clean the bathtub in between everybody so they didn't have to. Everybody had a clean place to shower. And we had well water so we didn't lose water like everybody else did.
Right.
And then Dylan and I went through our clothes and actually donated a bunch to Cordia to people that lost everything because we were blessed enough not to.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that's great because there were many stories like that. You know, people that like us, thankfully, that weren't as affected as a lot of other people, and tried to do something.
Yeah, definitely during a time that we felt hopeless, we wanted to help out.
Yeah, like Maddie said, there were so many that
grit in Appalachia. Like, don't be too hopeless. You can do something better.
Yeah. There's no reason to just lay down and give up. Yeah, that's not what we do in Appalachia. We keep going. We keep grinding.
And support each other.
Yeah.
Even though our neighbors can get on our last nerve sometimes, but we, if somebody mess with them or something happened to them, we're there to support them.
Yeah, you make a friend in Appalachia, they're usually a friend for life.
Yeah. The next day, that was the first time I got service, and I was like, I need to let everyone know.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this is going to last, so I went live, and I was like, we're okay. The water got under our home, and we've gotten out, but our neighbors are in trouble.
We actually ran into each other, and I thought you were going to break my neck.
Well, I hadn't spoke to any of the family in 5 days. Like I didn't know.
It was a panic because you guys, all of you, were basically on the other side of the county. Well, no, you and Dylan were.
Yeah, they were on Lots Creek.
Yeah, you were just on the other side of the hill.
But she, besides you and my children and your family, I didn't know if I even had family existing.
Yeah,
and it was really bothering me. Well, I got to, and once I seen her, I think I about choked her out. So I was never so happy to see another kinfolk in my life.
And then you were like, go to the holler where everybody is. Go. And I went, and I couldn't get up through there. But Mom had managed to get out, and I called her, and finally hearing her voice is like, I just busted out crying.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, like, was my brother, was my mom, was my dad,
right?
Was they okay?
Yeah, that was very difficult because we had no idea. Like I said, all the way on the other side of the county, just about every road is impassable.
Yeah, well, and we knew that this water flooded everywhere. There was nowhere in Knott County that was untouched.
Yeah, it wasn't localized to one particular spot. It wasn't just Troublesome Creek. It was all the creeks that fed into Troublesome Creek. They were backing up and flooding communities way back up in the hollers.
And I knew that there, where my family lives, even my sister at the time, where she was living, there's mines in there. And usually when it floods like that, those old mining breaks will bust loose with more water.
Yeah.
Their silt ponds will break loose, but luckily they didn't. And that's all that was going through my head is these mine ponds and things like that have broke loose, and they're covered up. Couldn't help but feel the worst.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to expect the worst when you have something so devastating.
It was definitely catastrophic.
We were able to get out of our holler and see the destruction below us, and that added fuel to the fire, so to speak, because it's like, oh my God, if this place looks like this.
Yeah, for the first few days, they were kind of like, this is as far as you can get. This is as far as you can get. And then I was like, well, I'm going to go see my parents. And they're like, oh, you can't get through Car Creek, or you can't get through Hyman.
Yeah, every way was blocked.
Roads was blocked to get to them.
All of them. And it was, how many days was it before we finally?
It was like a week.
I thought it was a little bit longer than a week. I thought it was like 9 days or something.
Something like that.
I just remember we went to the post office.
Yeah, that's when I seen my sister for the first time since then. But I still couldn't get to Beaver, to where my parents were.
Yeah.
It's like every day it was like a step closer. It kept building. And then they finally got the roads cleared over there. And my dad used equipment to be able to fix the road to get to my mom and dad's house, because we still couldn't get there.
Yeah. Yeah, we kept inching closer and closer. And we met with your sister at the post office. You finally got to see her. And then over the next few days, we got to inch a little bit closer and a little bit closer. Yeah, it was heartbreaking not knowing what was going on that end. If everybody was still okay, because it took forever for us to finally get some of our infrastructure back, our power and our internet.
Abby, how long was it before you got to see your sister that had put out a missing person for you all?
Honestly, once the phones went down that night, and they didn't come back on until it was early morning the 28th. They didn't come back on till probably midday the 29th, or like late that night. And then the next morning, we called her and told her that we needed supplies. We were finally able to get a hold of her. And I think she broke down and cried on Mom.
Yeah.
Because she hadn't heard from us. I remember when I got in contact with you guys, I broke down and cried because I hadn't heard from anybody. I didn't even know if you guys were alive.
Yeah.
And I broke down and cried.
Yeah,
and then when you guys came and got me, I think I broke down and cried because you guys were the first people I had seen since that night.
Yeah. Actually, family members that you wanted to connect with.
Yeah. And Mom's got an old washboard. I remember me and her getting water out of the pool because it was the only clean water we had, and using that water to wash our clothes with.
Isn't that something
how we
all pulled, like,
Yeah, we can all just kind of go back to those old Appalachia ways.
We don't have to have all of this new technology. We can go
my
back.
washing machine ain't working? Pull out the washboard.
Yeah.
And I remember me and her would take turns, like her knuckles would start hurting her and stuff like that, and we'd switch. And I'd do it for a little bit, and then we'd switch, and then she'd do it for a little bit. But whoever was doing that, the other one was rinsing, and then we would hang them up on a makeshift clothesline we had done.
Yeah, had to hang them up on the clothesline.
Even though the Tide's Load of Hope was in, which I just think they came to Hazard, I don't think they ever came to Knott County.
No.
It was hard for you all to haul your clothes to wash them. And then we finally got some washer and dryers at the Sportsplex and at Cordia School, and they were just always backed up. It was so hard. But there was nice, but there was nice people there that was accepting our clothes and washing them for us and things like that. But I like to wash my own bloomers.
Yeah, that was a rough time.
I don't like mine getting mixed up with other people's clothes.
Like you said, though, I mean, here this devastation happened. We don't have any utilities or anything, and
but we made a way.
Yeah, we figured it out. But only clean water we got to wash the clothes is in the pool. We got an old washboard. It's time to go back to the 1800s.
I remember we had water at one point. We had got water back, but we still had no power, so we couldn't cook. And we had enough propane for the grill, and my sister actually had to bring us more propane.
I think it was a month and a half before we got water back.
Yeah, we had to bust out the propane grill, and thankfully my mom and my brother both had gas stoves.
Yeah.
So we were still able to use those to cook with too. But clean water, that was the hard part.
Yeah.
Thankfully we got lucky and ended up with that big giant water tank that your parents let us use.
Yeah, that helped us out for a while because I remember we were the last 1% in the county that didn't have water.
Yeah, they kept saying, this entire area has water, and we're like, we still don't have water.
No. They're like, well, why not? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a break in the line just right down the road.
Yeah.
And we were one of the last ones to get power too.
Yeah. I remember sitting out in the driveway with a sign that said, "We have no power or water. Help." I believe that's what it said. And people was just driving by. They would slow down to read the sign, but then they would just drive on. And I remember we had set that sign out in a chair in the middle of the driveway, and there was a truck that had stopped. They had backed in the driveway and stopped right there where they could. And they're like, "What do you guys need?" And we're like, "We need water."
Do you know who these people were?
No, we had no idea. But their truck was loaded down with water.
I think a lot of the traffic that was coming in, though, was just people coming to gawk. I know it was starting to make some of the neighbors mad, especially over there where we live at. They were like, they're just stopping and looking at us, and they're not helping.
You had a lot of the media types coming in and just wanting the video.
Yeah.
I remember
People was
one
like, let's
car.
go see this devastation.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, there was one car that drove by so slowly, and somebody was in the passenger seat recording as they
Yeah.
was driving.
I mean, that's okay if you're willing to stop and help, but
Yeah.
just to make a TikTok off of someone else's,
somebody else's misfortune.
Yeah, she shouldn't be doing that. I know they were when the tornadoes just happened recently there in London. They said 75 was backed up because people was just stopping and recording all the damage and stuff and putting it on TikTok. Like, I get it. It gets you some attention, but that wasn't the time.
Right. Yeah, it's not.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it is kind of interesting, I guess. You see something devastating like that, it's like, oh my God, look at this. You want to show it to people. But yeah, to just try to get some views on TikTok, that's the flood was just such a devastating thing that it's so hard to put into words. I keep trying, but I fail miserably because it was such a hard thing to deal with for all of us. But like I said, Appalachia, we pull through. We always find a way. Now we're going to go back here for just a minute to some ghost stories because we talked about Johnny Booger, but it turns out that our guests have some more ghost stories, and they actually back up some of our personal experiences because it happened at the same place. Maddie,
tell us what you seen at Mama's house.
So,
my mother's.
Yeah. So, I was about maybe 11, and when I was younger, I had always, felt something in Mama's house. And I never really paid attention to it because I didn't feel like it was like a evil presence. It just kind of felt like, somebody was there. I would sleep in the bedroom closest to the bathroom. I know y'all know where I'm talking. You could hear like footsteps upstairs. You could see like you were sitting in the living room. Like one time I seen it run from like where the old wood stove used to be.
Right, where the back door
And
is.
you could see it run like through there. Or
Yeah,
you could, or like
toward the
sometimes it would
hall.
just, yeah, like swiftly walk.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
And then upstairs in that house has always made me feel just
uncomfortable.
very uncomfortable. Yeah, like I just didn't like being up there. Like I tried sleeping up there, I couldn't do it.
Gotta have the light on.
Yeah, but like didn't like as a kid it scared me, but now when I'm over there, like I just don't,
Yeah.
it's there. I don't really pay it any attention. I'm grown now, but yeah, Mama's house definitely has something there.
So it's scary, because it's something unexplainable happening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you grow up, you realize this isn't hurting me. It's not being mean to me. So, yeah, like she said, you kind of get used to it, and you just.
I ain't getting used to it because whatever it was flipped me out of the beds.
But don't that make you wonder, like, does it have something against you? Because it never
Right.
really harmed anyone else. Like Gavin's seen it, and it didn't,
Yeah.
Is that why you're worried about being grabbed if you go?
Because I've been grabbed. I don't want to be
Right.
grabbed no more. I didn't like that.
That's what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying.
I mean, Mike said it looked like a childlike figure.
Yeah,
did.
small child, yeah.
So, I mean, me being a young girl when it happened, it may have just wanted to play with me, and I didn't understand at the time.
Yeah, it was just being a little too forceful.
Yeah. But there'll be
And
times
that may be
go,
why, as a kid, it scared me, but not like, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
realized it didn't harm me.
and there'll be
Maybe it
times,
is a kid.
yeah, there'll be times I go to mom and dad's, I don't feel a presence, and then there'll be times that I feel it and it's really heavy.
Yeah.
That's there.
I've never, really felt a presence, but I've heard the footsteps, and I saw, it looked like a shadow of a kid, maybe 6, 7 years old, just running from the back door to the hallway.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell my ghost story about the Elizabethtown?
No.
What?
Okay. So in our home in Elizabethtown when we were living down there, when we first moved in, it didn't feel scary, but like you could tell something's there. Well, it was like our second or third night staying there. It was just me and Drake, my oldest son, and Dylan, and we heard like somebody on the steps. So we instantly, holler rats, get our gun, and Dylan goes out to see what's going on. Well, he goes upstairs. There's nobody there. All the doors are still locked. I didn't pick up anything on the cameras or anything. So we just, I laid awake all night. I was scared to death. Well, a couple days later, we're sitting on the couch and Drake had a ball he was playing with in the hallway area, like where our bathroom and to go to the basement and our bedrooms were. And it just rolls like from the hallway all the way over to our refrigerator and then rolls back and just stops.
Wow.
Well, so I told Dylan, I was like, this is crazy, maybe the floor's unlevel and, the ceiling fan hit it just right or whatever. So I just let it go because I was paying a lot of money to live at this place. I did not want to have to move. But there would be times like you would walk by Drake's room and toys would start going off. You guys know Drake was to the point where he was scared to go in his room.
Yeah, he didn't want to play with any of the toys with faces.
Yeah, and then like how that vent run from my room to his room, we would be laying in bed at night and hear the toys going off, and Drake's laying here beside me asleep.
Wow.
And where Dylan worked from like daylight to dark, pretty much, it was usually just me and Drake there. I would hear footsteps up and down the steps, scare me to death. There was times I wouldn't even come out of my room during the day because I was scared to death. But we never really seen anything but like the toys going off, the ball, the footsteps, stuff like that happening.
Did Drake ever say anything about like, seeing anything?
No, he was just like 2, getting ready to turn 3, so to him he really didn't understand, but like he got to where he would not play in his room. He would make me go in there with him to get his toys and he would play in the living room. He didn't want to play with toys that had faces or any of his stuffed animals or anything like that.
Yeah, because at first we kind of thought it was from our son showing him Huggy Wuggy and things like that.
Weird.
The creepers and stuff off Minecraft.
Yeah, YouTube.
And he was like, no, that not scare me. That's not scare me.
Yeah, he'd say, brother, not scare me.
Yeah.
But his toys would go off by themselves, and he didn't want to play
with any of the toys that had faces.
I had to go through his room one day, and I wasn't going there by myself. Dylan got home, and I was like, we have to go through that baby's room and get all of those toys out.
And they had to
and we put them in a closet upstairs.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's it definitely sounds like a haunted location. But you're right, it could be a child because, playing with toys, that seemed to be the big thing. Running up and down stairs. If you have a 2-story house, you know how much kids love just running up and down the stairs. Do you have any ghost stories?
Years before we bought the house, where the house sits, it used to be a strawberry farm. And the farmer actually lived up on the hill in our neighbor's house. And every now and again, if you walk out the back door, you can smell cigarette smoke. The farmer used to smoke cigarettes while working in the farm.
Yeah, I remember your mom saying something like that.
Yeah, nobody in your family smokes, right?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Well, my sisters do, but they don't do cigarettes. And they don't stay with us. Yeah.
Okay.
But after you would smell the smoke, like you'd go outside and you'd smell smoke, you close the door, I would hear knocking after I came back in the house. Because the way our house is set up, it's got that side room there. You can go out the door to where the kitchen is and go into that side room because that's where our freezers was. And then you'd come back in. And if I smelled the smoke, normally when I closed that door, there was always knocking. And I would not open that door up.
Yeah, don't ever open a door.
I'm like, I'm not opening it. No, thank you.
But it might just be the old farmer wanting a nice cold lemonade.
But no, he would smoke while doing his farm things down here.
Yeah, well, that's cool. It's like maybe a residual type of thing, The farmer's still out there tending to his strawberries, smoking his cigarettes.
I do have a ghost story, but it's from your guys' house.
Wait, I'm out.
Our house?
You're claiming that you had an experience at our house?
I did too. I wasn't going to say nothing.
I seen it from your house. It was in Phantom's mom's house.
Okay, so my mom's house that sits up on the hill above our house, not very far away.
Is this recent?
When was
it? Was before she passed away.
Okay, before my mother passed away.
Yes, but she was not home at the time. We were there. I didn't know where she was, but I know we were there because the dog was running outside, and I was outside with the dog watching him.
Okay, so what did you see?
So you know how her house is set up, and it's got it looks almost like a double door, but it's a big window right there where the table is.
Yeah, it's a sliding glass door.
So she wasn't home, and I swear somebody walked right by that window. Clear as day. You could see the shadow walk right by that window. No jokes, walked right by the window.
Well, did it look like, like a short person like my mom, or like a kid, or did it look like a really tall person?
It didn't really look like a kid, and it wasn't really short. It was kind of probably about my height, maybe a little bit taller, but clear as day. And I knew she wasn't home because her car wasn't there.
What color was it? Just black, like a shadow?
Black. Just black. Yeah. Just walked right across there, and then that was it. It just like disappeared.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me because I don't ever.
So about that height, that sounds like maybe grandma.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I don't ever see things like that. So I honestly, when I first saw it, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I have one from y'all's house. Dylan was there.
Okay.
Oh, so
from our house.
Yeah,
outside.
Your house, your
Okay.
double wide.
Okay.
So, and you can ask Dylan. I actually have a video of it on my phone, I think, or Dylan's phone, maybe. Might have
She
been on my
fails to
old
share
phone.
this with us after so
Yeah,
many
what in the
years.
world?
So I was laying on y'all's couch, and then y'all's dining room table, like in the big dining room, not like the one in the kitchen.
Right.
You had a book or something laying there, and you can ask Dylan because he was sitting there. The pages just started turning, and I was like, maybe it's the fan running over top of it.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I turn the fan off, and it just still keeps going. So I asked Dylan, I was like, do I need to tell him? Do I, because they'll open this big ghost investigation right in the middle of the living room, and he was like, I don't know, just see if, you see anything else. Maybe it was just the fan, maybe it was just something hitting it, whatever.
Yeah, there is a big ceiling fan, that was
She said she
right
turned
over
it
top
off,
of that
though.
table. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
went and
if you
turned
turned
it
it
off.
off,
Yeah, because I was like, it's definitely the fan. I've never felt anything here. It's got to be the fan. When me and Dylan first started dating, we both practically lived at your house.
Yeah.
Well, it was a couple nights later, and it was the night that me and Dylan sat down and watched the Sinister movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that night, I figured it was just because I was scared or whatever, but as I was telling Dylan bye, that book was still laying there, and it started doing it again. And I just looked at Dylan, and I was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. And if you remember, the next morning, actually, I decided I was taking my little hind into the house. I wouldn't fooling with it no more.
Wow.
So,
Well, that's cool because neither one of us.
Home,
Yeah,
no.
I don't know that any of us have. Not even the kids have really experienced anything like in our house. It's just stuff like outside of the house or at my parents' house.
and if I'm not mistaken, it was one of like old Appalachian history,
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it was one of those books you had laying there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Like at the end of the table open.
Yeah, you'd bought several Appalachia books.
That's my faves.
Yeah. So one of them was just flipping through there. Maybe it was Grandma. She loved Appalachia. And the thing that Abby saw, like I said, the height. If it'd been like my dad or my grandpa, it would have been this really tall,
Yeah.
like probably as tall as that window or taller, or not window, but sliding glass door.
Yeah, because they were both almost 7 foot tall.
Well, my grandpa was.
Yeah.
My dad was just over 6 foot.
So when you all lived in Garrett, when you were little, I remember your mom telling me about a little boy that you went to church with and stuff. You want to tell us that story?
So I don't remember it, but my mother has told it to me, many, many times over the years. So I had a friend, he had cancer when he was diagnosed with cancer. He had ended up losing his arm, and it has spread to his leg, and his leg was all swelled up and stuff. And he ended up passing away. I was like 3, maybe.
Yeah, he was just a couple of years old. You both were.
Yeah, I was like 3, maybe almost 4. I don't remember. But I was playing in my room, and my mom comes back to check on me, and I get up and I slam the door in her face. And my mom comes back and she's like, what is the matter with you? Why would you don't do that? And I was like, you scared Eric off. We was having a tea party. And I just want you to know he's fine. His leg's all better, and he got his arm back.
Wow.
And Mom had never told me that he passed away. She was like, how do you tell a 3-year-old that her best friend died?
Yeah.
And I just told her, like, he's better. He's all better now.
Wow. So I wonder if that was like a spirit, a ghost of this little boy, or was it an actual visit from heaven? This little boy coming back to say,
I'm all better.
Yeah, look at me, Maddie.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm all better. Wow.
Kind of give you that closure that you need.
Yeah, that's a great story. I never heard that one. You're keeping all the good stories to yourself. What in the world's going on here? Y'all don't tell me nothing. Yeah, y'all need to start telling me these stories. Because this is a big surprise on my podcast. I'm finding out that you're having experiences at my house. So maybe we need to investigate our house.
I wouldn't think anything would be there because it's a new construction.
Yeah.
So
I don't think if it is, it may just be something,
passing
with
through.
the land. Yeah, something just kind of passing through. But yeah, those are awesome stories. All the stories that you had tonight were awesome. Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming on.
Confirming.
Maddie and Dylan, thank you all so much. Hopefully we'll have you back around because I know you've got more stories. You're keeping them. And then, of course, Abby, you're always welcome to come back on as well. And yes, this is the Abby that we have talked about in several episodes. Abby's Southern Sips Lemonade.
It has the best lemonade.
The best lemonade ever. And Abby, a little shameless self-promotion here. Why don't you tell us where you're going to be at next?
All right, so the next time I set up, I will be at the Gingerbread Festival in Knott County, Kentucky, in the city limits of Hyman. I will probably be set up around the courthouse, so I'm really excited to do that.
The Great and Amazing Gingerbread Festival.
It's their first Gingerbread Festival.
Is it? This is your very first one. Okay.
Yeah. This is my very first Gingerbread Festival.
Yeah, everybody be sure to get out there to the Gingerbread Festival.
It's the Thursday after Labor Day, so that's the September
4th, 5th.
September the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Be there for the whole gingerbread.
Get you a nice lemonade and chase it with a piece of gingerbread.
And what do you have after that?
After that, I should have Black Gold.
Black Gold.
In Perry County. That should be exciting because that would be my very first Black Gold ever.
That's downtown Hazard.
Yeah, Hazard, Kentucky.
Right on Main Street.
Down on Main Street.
He took it. Yes, he took it.
I got you.
Down on Main Street.
So, yeah, now we've got the gingerbread and the Black Gold, the two most popular, preeminent festivals of the Knott County and Perry County area. There are some other festivals, but yeah, those are the two big ones.
Those are the ones everybody talks about. Are you going? Are you going?
Yeah. So if you've made it to gingerbread and Black Gold status, then you're on your way. That's the way it was when we were playing in bands. Like, man, if we can play the main stage at the Black Gold, we've made it. So get on out to the Gingerbread Festival and the Black Gold Festival because you're going to. It's about the only thing to do.
And tell her that we sent you.
Yeah. Go and find Abby's Southern Sips. Get you a delicious gourmet lemonade. And yeah, tell her that you heard her right here on Appalachia Not So Quiet. Maybe she'll throw in an extra piece of fruit or something.
Maybe she'll spike that lemonade.
A little moonshine.
It's coming soon. Yeah. I know. But it's going to happen.
Yeah. Start getting spiked lemonades. All right. Abby, thank you so much. Maddie and Dylan, thank you. And thank all of you out there for listening to us, for rambling on and helping us celebrate 500 listeners. That's right. 500. I had to do it again. I'm sorry. All right. From us to you.
Oh, we ain't ready yet.
No, we're not ready yet. Okay.
I thought you were giving away merch.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We got to do all that stuff.
To celebrate our 500 streams and downloads, let's do a little giveaway of some merch with coffee mug and a t-shirt.
Coffee mug and a t-shirt.
Yeah. This is a pretty big milestone for 1 month. That's a big one. So if you have listened to this episode, leave us a comment. I know a lot of you have to go on Spotify, or you can find and comment on TikTok that you have watched this specific episode, and let us know what your favorite episode is and that you want some free merch. And then we're going to put your name into a drawing and we'll announce the winner next Friday.
Next Friday?
Next Friday.
Next Friday sounds good to me. Yeah. Be sure to like, share, and definitely comment and say you'd like some free merch.
Yeah.
And we'll throw all your names into a big old bowl.
I was going to do the spinning wheel thing on my phone.
The spinning wheel thing.
Yeah, you can put all their names on a spinning wheel. There's an app. We can record it that way.
Of course, there's an app for that.
There is an app.
There's an app for everything.
That's what we'll do.
That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, everybody get in on that. Ask for some free merch. You might receive it. A coffee mug and a shirt.
And we're going to owe our special guest some free merch as well for coming on.
Yeah, for being our very first guest on Appalachia Not So Quiet. We'll be hooking up Abby, Maddie, and Dylan with some free Appalachia Not So Quiet merch. So once again, thank you to our guests. We'll be sending out that free merch. Abby, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories. And Maddie and Dylan, thank you all so much for sharing your stories. We'll be sending you out some free merch as well, helping us test our equipment here and figuring out how to bring guests on.
Well, we're glad y'all invited us on. We were so excited and we've had fun.
Yep.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah, we're going to do it again. Absolutely.
Definitely doing it again.
We'll find something to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we've always got stuff to talk about. Be sure to listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio.
And follow us on X and TikTok.
That's right. All right. We're out of here. I'm your host, Hillbilly Phantom.
And I'm Appalachian Shape.
And we'll see you on the next one. Till then, watch out for them boogers.